Welcome back, everyone, to Pod of Thrones. I'm Jeff.
I'm Jennifer.
And joining us tonight for our Midweek Madness episode is Lore Master Kevin. Kevin!
Hey! Probably your final Midweek Madness episode.
Well,
maybe we'll have to have
now,
yeah.
You know, we'll have
maybe
other...
the prequels. Maybe we'll jump down with the prequels and stuff.
Well, you're going to join us for the prequels too, right, Kevin? You're not going to abandon the show, are you? I don't even mean our show. I just mean Game of Thrones in general. I mean, you'll be there, right? Because you are as the lore master, you're the one that's going to be able to help us fact check all the stuff that they put into the prequels and how accurate it is.
It's a big job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you have some time to reread the books again. And I will probably get at least the second book done within the next year and a half. So go me.
Now my watch just begins waiting for the real books to come out.
Yeah.
George R.R. Martin to finish them.
Okay. Well, why don't we talk about that real quick? There is a rumor, not a rumor. I don't know. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it's the actor that plays Barristan Selmy.
Yeah, Barristan Selmy. Yeah.
Okay. So you saw this too. Did you see this, babe?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
you calling me babe.
I know you want to be my babe, Kevin, but, so the actor that plays Barristan Selmy said recently at some function in public that the books are done and that HBO has asked Germ to hold off on releasing them because they want to finish the show first.
Germ's already said that that's not true.
Yeah.
Did he deny that?
Denied it.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn it. I only had time to read one headline. I'm sorry.
That's all you read was the headline.
So he's saying that's not true. Okay, fine. It would make a lot of sense.
It would.
I mean,
he could be lying, but not George R.R.
That's true because, Germ could be lying because if he, maybe he has a contract with HBO that's and don't you dare tell anyone you're done with these books. So now he's got to be like, no, I'm not done with the books. But in a month, he's going to be like, guess what, guys?
I'm done with the
books. Or at least book 5.
That'd be cool.
Is it 5 or 6? Which one is Winds of Winter?
5.
That's 5, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought. But then, never mind. Okay, fine. So there we go. Rumor debunked. What next? That episode, it took so much out of us.
Yes. How did you feel after the episode was over, Kevin?
I thought it was. I enjoyed the episode, and I get on, and everyone hates it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I mean, not everyone hates it, but a lot of people are questioning what happened, and I kind of, was on the I don't want it to happen bandwagon. I don't want her to be this way, but she kind of laid out her plan in the episode itself.
You're talking about Arya.
She was talking. You pointed it out, Jennifer.
Arya.
When she was in the room talking with John. No, I'm talking
Daenerys.
Daenerys. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I said, I bet that's what's going to happen. You
pointed out that when she was talking with John, she said, I can only rule with love or fear.
Oh, right.
And she said, and then when he pulled away, she's like, well, fear it is. And then as soon as she said that, you realize something's about to happen. And people are like, well, why did she, she wanted King's Landing. Why would she attack King's Landing after she had it? She doesn't want King's Landing. She wants the whole entire kingdom. So she decimates one city to put the fear in everyone else, and no one's going to be denying her at all.
Well, she wants the throne.
Well,
she does want the Iron Throne.
The throne can be rebuilt.
What is the throne if she doesn't have the rest of the kingdom?
Well, I know. I'm just saying in terms of destroying the whole city. I mean, the keep was crumbling. I have to assume it's not all gone, and the throne will be seen in this final episode. But she could have destroyed her precious little throne there too. I imagine.
Well, I don't think she had any thought about any of it. I don't think she was planning on doing anything. I think that she was like, and I think I read this actually from the writers, that she was so overwhelmed with grief and anger. And once she did that first initial pass through where she destroyed whatever she destroyed, I don't remember everything, and it didn't make her feel any better. And so she's like, fuck! And she just took out
I've got some
her
quotes
anger.
about this.
Yeah.
I've got some quotes about this.
And she has been learning this from the first season, And this is what I tried to hit on last time I was on the show with you guys, is the book and show are different. I mean, the book deals heavily in prophecy. You deal heavily with inner mind, with the inner mind. You deal with all this stuff. The prophecy in this has not really been there. I mean, they've talked about it a little bit in the book. It is always there. I mean, I don't even think Cersei's prophecy is really that heavy in the show. I was trying to remember. I remember the first episode of season 5 where they did the flashback, or was that season 6?
Oh gosh,
when she met the witch.
Which season was that?
Anyways,
Marcella had just died.
That might have been 6.
Joffrey was still alive.
It might have been seasons.
I'm gonna. I could go with 6.
But the first episode where they had the flashback, yeah, maybe it was 6. I mean, it wasn't 4 because 4 has my favorite first episode of the season ever. But no, it had that flashback, and like I don't even remember when she did the flashback if it was the exact same wording as it is in the books. I don't even think they talk about her death in that, and I'm trying to remember. I meant to look it up before I got on with you guys.
You might be right. I mean, they definitely talked about the 3 children with the golden hair and the golden shrouds.
Yeah,
I don't know if they said anything about Valonqar like they do in the book, of course. Yeah. But people are counting on it, and whether you've read the books or not, like all these fans are going around talking to each other. You've got show fans talking to book fans. Everybody fucking knows about Valonqar now.
I don't.
Yeah,
we've talked about it on the show before. It's the little brother theory. That it's a word translated from Old Valyrian that means little brother or little sibling, perhaps genderless. But
right,
supposedly
basically the witch told her that you're going to die. Yeah, you're going to die, and your little brother's going to kill you. So that's why she's always hated Tyrion.
Well, is Jaime her little brother?
Right. That's what they're saying, and everyone is like, "Well, that means Jaime." Like you think it's Tyrion? No, it means Jaime.
Well, maybe it's Tyrion because Tyrion brought her. Tyrion brought Daenerys there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but maybe they just confused the word "little brother" with stealing.
I feel like.
Yes.
Took you a second.
It turns out that in Old Valyrian, the word for stone ceiling is Valonqar and not Valonqar, and that's where the translation went awry. Yeah, okay. Cersei had it wrong this whole time.
Yeah. But to get back on Daenerys,
yes.
She's been hearing this since the first season. Like I think her brother even said to her, "Who can rule without wealth or fear or of love?" That's it. That's all. That's what he says. So fear is another one. And then season 2, she's like, "When my dragons are grown, we will lay waste armies and burn cities to the ground." I mean, she's had this.
Right. She said it all along.
Streak. Yeah.
And people have always had to talk her down.
She's had it's Jorah been advisors and Missandei and all these people holding her back, and then once they're gone, she finally lets her crazy go, especially when we have to take Jon away. I mean, come on, Jennifer. If Kit Harington stops having sex with you, you're going to be a little upset, right?
Well, I don't know if Kit Harington's really that good, but...
Well, he does mouth love.
He does mouth love. He's probably the only one in Westeros that does that.
Yep. I mean, that alone.
So yeah, I'd be upset.
If Jon just would have given himself to her that night.
Right.
Dummy.
So Jon has the better claim. Jon has the love of the people. Jon has the North. Only thing she has is fear, so she doubles down on it. People keep saying it's madness. No, she is calculating that this is going to strike fear in everyone, including Jon. He doesn't want her taking the dragons and going back to Winterfell.
Well, couldn't she? Yes?
Well, I don't think that it's her plan. I don't think it's her intended plan. I think she's just flying off. I think she's actually, got the Targaryen streak and can't rein herself in. She's like gone mad.
If King's Landing is really home to 1 million people, then she probably killed, let's just say, hundreds of thousands of people.
She did. She killed that little girl.
She killed that little girl. Arya's pissed. Mm-hmm. But like...
Oh, that's what made me laugh, by the way. When Jennifer asked you, I was like dying laughing when Jennifer asked you, well, what's her backstory? And you went into the whole backstory of Nora last episode.
Well, I tried.
Hey, but
I was writing quickly.
I don't really question the writing too much because I've written a few books, but they've never been published, so I don't want to pretend.
Well, they never will with that attitude. Sorry, go on.
I read this thing on the web on the Reddit site, and I thought I agree with it better. Arya running around really didn't do it for me. I would have liked to see Davos. He's from Flea Bottom. He has a connection with these people. I would love to see him as the person. They put Arya on the ground to kind of like get the eye view of what the peasants were going through. I would love to see Davos down there going through that.
I agree if that's all it was to get the point of view. And it might be, because I can't predict for shit. I mean, in terms of like what each character's motive should be and their goals should be, I fucking don't know anything anymore. But it would seem, if this was being written well, and a lot of people would say it's not, but if we're going to spend that much time on Arya, it's got to be so she has something to do. So she has that drive to do something drastic and hopefully amazing in this final episode.
Right. They put so much emphasis on her.
Right.
In both this episode and last. With the whole scene with her going super slow through the zombie areas.
Well, yeah. And then she did something amazing.
But they're like giving her the big bulk of scenes.
As well they should.
Yeah.
I think they were giving it to her. I mean, I think that the after episode, they even said that they were doing it so that they could have the point of view of the peasants.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Of course, they could have been just, throwing us off.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think it was too important at the end there with a horse.
And another thing that I read, because I kind of thought Jaime was up to something other than, and I can understand this. Like, other people are like, oh, I don't understand why Jaime goes back. He ruined his whole arc. I mean, have you never, ever been in love with someone that is bad for you, but you go back to them no matter what? I mean, people do that. I mean,
well, let's define no matter what. A few times,
before
maybe.
I met my wife, there was this one.
Ooh, Kevin's story. Let's hear your backstory there, Kevin.
There was a girl that I mean, was terrible for me. We'd always fight and stuff like that. But I always went back to her until I met my wife, and it was, better. But I kind of would have liked him to have motivation to go back to her. That would have been good. Like, maybe if Brienne died in the battle on the wall, the Battle of Winterfell, that might have spurred him along to go back to her.
Yeah.
Right. I thought that Jaime had some other plan, but apparently not.
Yeah.
Hoping.
Those are the only two things that would have changed so far. I mean, that I would have made it better. I mean, I didn't make it terrible that it didn't happen. I just said that would have been like cool. Like, in my mind, that would have been a cool storytelling.
Do you think maybe, and this just popped into my head, maybe they're just fucking with us about this whole prophecy thing? Like, Jaime's going back. Well, it must be because he thinks he can get close enough to Cersei and he's going to be the one that takes her out, and he'll probably kill himself because he'll be distraught because he loves her.
Yeah.
But then in the end, he just tried to help her get away. Like, was it, well, I just mean, like, was it really their plan of, like, Jaime motivation, or were they just like, well, this'll be a twist that they won't see coming. He's not gonna kill her or really do anything useful at all.
Or maybe he had planned to kill her, but then shit hit the fan.
He had two of the greatest scenes of that episode. I mean, his scene with Tyrion was really great. Like, him and Tyrion telling him, thank you for never, the one who didn't treat me like a monster. And then his scene with Cersei in the room as they're dying.
Yes.
I mean, those were both great in a vacuum. Great scenes. Like, I mean, it just, the writing in those were like great.
And Cersei shows she's vulnerable for the first time.
Yeah. Of course, Jaime also had that scene with Euron that just it just felt like something out of a soap opera. Like an actual soap opera. Like, he just happens to come around the corner while you're rushing to find your love, and he like.
Well, that makes a little bit of sense because
no, it doesn't.
It was the only entrance into the keep.
Well, what was Euron doing there?
Keep, so it would make sense that they were both going there. Because he knows about it. Euron knows about it.
He's going.
He's not his wife. They didn't get
married.
married.
There's only one entrance.
Cersei,
you might meet up at it, at least. It's not like he just watched it on the beach in the right area. He was going to that specific area because of the entrance.
Must have been where Missandei went too.
Maybe,
she just mysteriously showed up in the red keep.
It just seemed like Euron just strolled around that corner so casually, even though he was wet and he probably just washed up on shore. He has this thing about hiding behind rocks, and it just seemed like another one of those where he's just like, I know Jaime's going to be coming this way. I'm going to crouch over here. Here he is.
I think Euron's presence in the show is he's combined with another character, Victorion, and it's really, I think, the mystical part of him. I mean, he's in the books. He is just like, one of those people that's on a ship full of mutes and those type of things. He has that mystical quality about him. I think the writers were trying to get that to him, and I think a lot of it fell flat on a lot of people. His opening scene was great, on the bridge, and I think after that it kind of went downhill for him.
I agree, but I'm glad because I hate him. He smells like urine and sweat.
Well, not after he's washed up in the ocean, though.
And dirty fish.
Okay. Yeah, maybe dirty fish. Okay, I want to... This is going to be about Daenerys, but it could go for anything. It could go for Jaime's motivations, where we're sitting here trying to figure it out. It could go for Euron popping out from behind the rock and all this stuff. So just a couple comments from Miguel Sapochnik. He's the director of the episode, and David Benioff, one of the writers. Just stuff that they were saying in response to the Daenerys. But I think this goes... the Daenerys twist, but I think this goes a little bit further than just her. So Miguel said, Amelia is really nice and she cares. Wait, no, is that the part? No, here we go. I'll just skip over all that. Miguel gave some insight as to why Daenerys made the decision to torch King's Landing, explaining that she felt, quote, empty despite having achieved victory. All right.
That makes sense.
She feels empty. It wasn't what she thought it was. It's not enough. And then David Benioff said, ultimately, she is who she is, and that's a Targaryen, which I think is kind of rude to all Targaryens, but whatever. She has said repeatedly throughout the show, I will take what's mine with fire and blood, and in this episode she does it. Now that part, David Benioff's, is okay, because it's true, and I think that's been a big part of the debate online, which is... you guys should have seen this twist coming, or at least not been that surprised by it, because she's been promising, since season 2 at least, that she would do this. But then the thing about the comment about her, like she's sitting on top of the inner city wall, right? And she's looking down on the surrendering Lannister soldiers and hearing the cries for the bells, and the city's totally hers for the taking, but she feels empty inside. Mm-hmm. And that's why she decides to go berserk and start killing everybody and everything.
Right.
My problem with that is that I feel like they shouldn't have to tell us that after the fact. And whether that's writing or directing or the fact that the show is only 6, episodes this season, if she's going through this stuff, shouldn't we be able to get a little insight into that?
Well, we did. Did you see the look on her face?
Kind of.
I feel like we got that with Jon in the room when she says fear it is. I mean, right then and there you got what you got the where she's leaning.
Yeah, but she had victory.
But she still didn't feel better.
Rule the kingdom. She wants to rule the kingdom.
No, I get that. I know. But
so she's the only thing she do is rule through fear. How is it fear if she just scored a few scorpions and destroyed a fleet?
Well, I'd say taking out the entire city's outer wall and pretty much single-handedly destroying the Golden Company is a pretty good show of force.
It's force. It's not fear, though. It's soldiers. I mean, she needs the people to fear her. She needs the peasants, the common folk to fear her. And what do they have to fear if she's only attacking soldiers? Send our soldiers out there. We'll be fine.
I know.
Well, I think where everybody is so upset is that we all built this up in our minds where Arya was going to get her list done. She's going to check off her list, and we thought Jaime was going to come back and beat the shit out of Cersei for being such an idiot. We thought the Mountain and the Hound were going to have this big Clegane Bowl, but really, it was...
yeah. What did you think of Clegane Bowl, Lore Master Kevin? I thought it wasn't even going to happen at all.
I didn't see enough
Clegane bowling.
I'm sorry. That was pretty awesome. That fight was pretty awesome.
You approve of it? It did not a whole lot happened, though.
I approve of that fight.
All right.
Oh, come on. I mean, he stabbed him. I love that fight.
I'm not sure what would have been epic. I guess it's a problem with having an indestructible enemy.
Maybe him cutting off his head. I don't know, but that would have. I mean, just to lead up to the fight. I mean, him walking up the stairs. I started yelling, "He has the high ground! Don't attack him!" But the killing of Quiver, and I love the fact. I mean, they turned that thing with Cersei just okay, well, I'm out of here. That was hilarious to me. Where she's like, "Oops," because I mean, he was there for the Mountain, and that was it. He wasn't there for Cersei, and she realized it. I love that whole entire fight.
I love the
the
comments
ending.
from Cersei's getaway too. There's been so many people online like pretending like she pulled a ninja and was just like tiptoeing away and being like sneak, sneak, sneak to get her. She didn't do that. She was just like, nope, I'm just gonna walk by you. You boys have fun, and I'm out. I mean, there was nothing sneaky about it, and she wasn't even tiptoeing.
No.
She just walked on away.
I love. I mean, the cinematography was great in that scene with when he's standing at and the bottom, a couple lower stairs down, he's above him. It's just, and then the fight itself was pretty brutal, and then him jumping, knocking him out the wall. That was all pretty good.
Maybe that's my problem with it. Now I'm thinking about it. The fight was brutal, which is cool. I don't mind a brutal fight, but maybe it was the fact that it was just these two giant lugs. Like it kind of feels like when I used to watch pro wrestling in the 80s, like Andre the Giant versus Hulk Hogan, which totally electrified the crowd and it was cool at the time. But then later on, you see like all these super athletic acrobatic wrestlers like bouncing all over the ring, and it's kind of more exciting. And maybe like the Arya standard has just kind of left me a little dry with the whole two guys beating on each other thing.
It definitely was a brutal fight, and I mean that's all you're gonna get from them. You weren't gonna get poetry and motion with them. Every time the Hound has fought, it's been brutal.
Yeah, that's true.
Too. Yeah,
that's true.
He did try that squeezing of the head technique.
Oh yeah.
He only got one eye out though.
Yeah, it would have been kind of cool for the Hound to have an eye patch at the end of this.
Do you think he's dead?
Like
He's dead. Are they
I
dead?
think they have to be dead.
I feel like Cersei and Jaime might not be dead.
Yeah, I don't think you can survive that far.
They're dead.
Cersei's dead.
How? Yeah.
No.
Qyrann's dead.
You can cross them off on your bingo, whatever.
We did. Jennifer got a bingo.
Dead.
I got bingo.
Were you playing bingo at home, Kevin?
No.
You weren't.
I gave you what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, that's not the same as bingo. I should have sent you a card in the mail.
I know. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. I am sure that is what George R.R. Martin's ending is going to be like. The end of the book is going to be Dany going crazy like that. But it'll make sense to everyone who reads it because you'll get to her inner workings.
Mm.
Well, yeah.
And I think sometimes when people watch the show, they're expecting something to happen, and so they miss a lot of stuff. Like I swear to God, I saw like 6-7 comments like in a row, like, how did Jaime get into King's Landing? It's like, did you miss the 3 minutes before when Tyrion just asked Davos if he could smuggle someone in? I mean, did you miss that?
Well, I thought he just walked in the front gates. I mean, Arya and Mountain just walked in the front gates, it looked like.
Yeah, but they were letting people in still. Like, the gates were open. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, there wasn't anything nefarious about it. I mean, he has to smuggle somebody in. I mean, but people missed it completely. They're like, oh, how did you get in? Just teleported in. It's like, did you miss any of the shows that happened right before? Did you miss them asking?
Well, and also he was wandering through the city for a long time trying to get there.
Yeah.
Everybody's running the other way, and he was...
I like the part where he raised up his golden hand, hoping that the Lannister guards would see him and take notice and let him in. That was cute. Didn't really work out.
His hand is so funny.
I wanted him to do...
I wanted him to beat up somebody with it.
If he just could have crushed... I wanted him to go like... just crush his skull into jelly. Mm-hmm. Pull an Oberyn Martell.
Pulverize it.
I think that would have been so cool.
Whose? A skull? Any skull?
Well,
Euron's.
Euron.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that have been a more satisfying end for how much we hate Euron than just leaving him bleeding out on a rock?
Mm-hmm. For
Even
sure.
those rocks. Euron.
I think Jaime was dead either way. I mean, they knew he was dead either way.
Who?
I mean, he was stabbed. Jaime was going to be dead. Like,
yeah.
Before his ceiling. He was stabbed in like the kidney and stuff. I mean, he was dying.
It could have been a much slower, more painful death than getting crushed by a ceiling because, if your kidneys are punctured, let me tell you, not going to feel good.
No. No.
I know kidneys.
You've been stabbed in the kidney.
Yeah, actually I was kind of by my own medical device. It really hurt. So I feel Jaime's pain. I'm pretty much up there.
You're pretty much just like Jaime Lannister.
Yeah. I mean, I'm easily as handsome.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, dude.
It didn't want to come out of my mouth.
I know. I was kind of disappointed with the people complaining about the episode more than I was about the episode. It's like there was a lot of stuff there.
Did you see people have signed a petition?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
so lame.
That's going too far.
See, here's another thing. Yes, in a perfect world, this is how we would have written it, right? But you're not dealing with actors. You're not dealing with studios. You're not dealing with a schedule and stuff like that. So, I mean, you're not dealing with these things. And so, in a vacuum, yes, I would write it this way. But in the real world, sometimes they have to make sacrifices. They have to make compromises. And, it's a compelling story. The story is compelling. That's all I care about. I just want to be entertained. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to second guess everything that happens if I'm entertained by it. If I see a dragonfly throwing fire down, I enjoy it.
I was entertained by the episode, but I do still feel for some of the people that are. I mean, people were kind of all in on Daenerys. People have named their kids Khaleesi. People,
oh my god!
People have her tattooed as the breaker of chains on their backs, and now she's not really the breaker of chains anymore. That is a bummer. I mean, our own, dear favorite person on the show, no offense, Kevin, Dr. Janina Scarlett, she was tweeting that she's upset by that episode that she might not finish the fucking series, which is a real shame. Hopefully she'll change her mind. Maybe there's a good ending to come, but I don't think that ending's going to involve Daenerys being a hero.
Probably not.
The thing about the episode is I think it was closer to what I think Martin has in mind. War is hell. Northern men, Southern men, Dothraki, they all, when it gets in the war, they will all turn into savages. There's nothing to do with honor. That's who they are. That's what men at war are. They will turn into savages. They will rape. It doesn't matter where they are from.
Were you just going to say they will rape?
He said they will rape.
All men.
Yeah.
If we go to war.
I'm saying in a war. I'm not saying
Snow.
every single guy will. I'm not saying every single guy will. What I'm saying is you're not going to find a group, you're not going to find the U.S. Army will not do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's men in the Army that will rape in the U.S. Army. I'm just saying, there's no group of men that is 100% honorable. There's no group of soldiers that aren't going to at times do stuff that's less than, moral.
What the fuck, though? I mean, in the middle of battle, the guy that Jon had to kill, what the fuck? I mean, is that really something that you could feasibly pull off? Or even be in the mindset for, I don't know. Obviously, I've never been to war.
His army was Northern men plus wildlings. So I'm just saying, you have no idea.
Well, the wildlings went home.
Not all of them. Some probably came. They didn't have to.
Well, they didn't have to. They are free folk.
I think they're coming. I think something crazy is going to happen next episode, and we're all going to be thrown for a loop.
Well, let's talk about
I think this is closer to his writing, the way he's portraying it. I'm sure we'll get some of the same things where, Northern men aren't keeping to their vows and Daenerys goes crazy and everything we expect to happen doesn't happen. I think we're going to get some of that. And you know what? You'll get the inner monologues, which make it so much better sometimes. You'll see Dany's descent because you'll see what she's thinking along the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, since we're in tune with George R.R. Martin's intent, I'm going to let you go first, Kevin. What's going to happen in the last episode?
I have absolutely no clue.
God damn it. I want to take a drink of water. Would you please just tell us what's going to happen?
Okay. I have sat here since the end of the episode trying to think, how do they end this now? I mean, does Dany now just the leader and that's how it ends? Jon goes back to North and okay, well, we got to, keep up stuff. Does Bran pull some shit off? Does it just...
Well, there's a question. What would that shit be?
I don't know.
Work into Drogon and, destroyed Dany. Be okay, it's over. You did what you had to do.
Ooh, some of the people I was chatting with at work were speculating about that. Is there any precedent for warging into a dragon? Are they considered animals that can be warged into?
No, there's no.
Why not?
Well, here's the thing. When the Targaryens are flying with them, they kind of are in tune with them, and that's kind of on the same wavelength as working into them. So maybe that the capability is there.
Okay.
I also read a theory, and like I think it won't play well on the show at all. But
Okay.
maybe we've been reading the prophecy wrong the whole time about the prince that was promised, and maybe and the Song of Ice and Fire. I think I texted you this.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to say it. It's for you to say.
Yeah. Instead of it being someone to bring people together, bring ice and fire together, maybe the prophecy of someone who's going to destroy ice and fire. So we've already had someone destroy ice, and that would be the Night King being killed. Maybe that same person destroys fire and kills Dany.
I am all for that. I mean, girl power, right? I mean, if Dany's going to be a tyrant, then at least another girl can take her down. This show would
don't think that. Yeah. I don't really think that would play well on the show, but that might be cool in the books, the way it plays out.
Yeah, I would love to
because again, the prophecy is so heavy in the books that you're waiting for this stuff.
Okay.
I don't know.
So there's always twists. They really try hard to make the show hard to predict, right? But thematically speaking, and definitely for like George's personal feelings of social justice, this show and the source material, they're so heavily steeped in girl power, or to put it more aptly, I guess, strong women, strong female characters, and women in control of things. We've had Cersei being the queen, but even before she was queen, she was always the true power of that castle, right? And we've had Daenerys turn a bunch of raping horse lords into her willing servants. We've had Sansa and her journey, which I guess, completely different in the book, sure, but her journey in the show here to become this leader of people that is trying really hard to do what's right. And of course, Arya, the super ninja, because women can be badass too. Is there a chance that we just wind up with fucking Jon on the throne? Because that would seem like a real letdown.
I don't know but I was thinking that maybe something like the ending that we'll see is maybe Sansa marches south because of what happened, and there's nice another confrontation, and and once, like, I don't know, near the end when Dany finally decides to bring her dragons out to destroy this army too, that's when Bran decides to warg into Drogon and just stops them from doing anything. Like, okay, no. And then you see her helpless without her dragon, the North run, the North fighting for the win. I don't know. It's something like that I could see happening. Because, they made a big point of him being able to be a strong ward, taking over a human, which is probably harder than taking over a dragon.
Well, that's true. He did take over a human, although we are animals.
Yeah.
But for Bran to do anything in the final episode, wouldn't he have to care, let's just say, about anything, really? Because he doesn't seem to care about anything.
He doesn't care about much anymore.
Right. Exactly.
Plus, Varys sent all those letters out, so something's got to happen. It's an hour and a half episode. Now,
did we actually see him more than one letter?
Well, we saw him writing a letter in the first scene,
and then he burned it.
And then
that's all we know.
Well, he burned one at the end where he started writing again. I'm not really sure why he burned it. They knew what he was doing.
Wasn't that two different nights? Like, didn't the episode start with him writing a letter, the girl checks in, and then Varys is talking to Jon during the day, and then it's that next night when he gets killed, and he was still writing a letter. So he probably sent off a bunch. But we don't know to who. We don't know what the effects will be. We don't know. It could be to all the leaders of the Seven Kingdoms, and then we'll see, what does Dorne care about? What does the Iron Island care about? What does the Vale care about? And so on. I think Robin would side with Sansa.
Of course.
Whatever Sansa wants. She could be queen. She could come out of this queen.
She looks queenly.
She does.
But I was picturing Arya on the throne also, and she could look very queenly too, even though she's tiny. Tiny queen.
I'm all for Arya on the throne.
Arya's not doing that.
Yeah,
Arya's not doing that.
I don't think she wants it.
You guys didn't hit on this when you talked about the episode where where Gendry got turned down, but she says the exact same thing to Gendry that when she says that's not me.
I'm not a lady.
She said the exact same thing to Ned in the first season, where he starts talking about you're going to be a lady, and she's like, well, "That's just not me." She says the exact same thing to Gendry.
Right.
So, what about Gendry? What about Gendry being on the ground? He's a Baratheon.
Okay.
Is he still alive?
Gendry? Sure. I don't. Yeah. He wasn't at that battle. I don't think.
He went on the Storm's End, right?
Probably just went down to Storm's End
right.
to cry about Arya. And...
Good for him.
Yeah, and then he comes back. He's a Baratheon. He could be on the throne.
Both he and Bronn.
He's been legitimized.
Bronn could be his hand.
Do Bronn and Gendry even know each other? But hey, anything's possible. Oh yeah, so what's Bronn's role in the rest of this? Jaime's dead now. Tyrion's alive, but Tyrion's probably going to die, right?
No, I think Tyrion lives.
How could he live? He betrayed Cersei.
He didn't fail her.
He released Jaime.
Cersei's dead.
Well, I know.
Oh.
But does a tyrant care about the results or the motives? I mean, he released Jaime to try to get Cersei out of there, and then Jaime and Cersei would both live, which is definitely not what Daenerys wanted.
I'm sure that Tyrion did not show back up with Dany. I'm sure he went with Jon when Jon retreated.
Yeah, but they're going to have to report in now. There's a coronation that's about to happen.
Debriefing.
And a debriefing. And is Jon in trouble? Because Grey Worm was all pissed that Jon told everyone to retreat. So you got Jon and Davos and Tyrion potentially on the chopping block. What happens?
Sure that you're having another fight. I'm sure we're having another fight. I don't think Jon go back to that.
I don't think they have time for another fight. Unless it's just one-on-one personal combat.
All of the stuff that we needed to wrap up was destroyed this last episode.
Okay. If the show ends with Daenerys on the throne as sort of a not so happy ending, then yeah, I guess we could have another army battle. We could have more dragons killing shit, and we have time for that. But I'm assuming that this last episode is going to be mostly political and murdery and less battle-y.
So we got Sansa.
Well, who's going to stand
Dany,
against her?
and
Everyone's fear her now.
Wait, what was that, babe?
Afraid of her.
All we have is Sansa, Dany, and Jon now to fight each other.
Sansa,
Jon
Dany,
was
and
fighting
Jon.
for
Okay.
Dany because he vowed himself to her, and they can never break their vows. So Sansa's going to have to fight Jon somehow, or
Bran.
Arya is going to have to kill. Arya is going to be the one that kills Dany if Dany gets killed, I think.
I really hope Arya uses a face. I'm just going to say that again. She needs that. It's just too cool to pass up. Okay, next question then. Will Jon be a Ned Stark that never breaks his stupid fucking vows, no matter how stupid they are? Or will he fight against Dany? Because he obviously made a mistake.
50-50.
He's got to learn at some point, right?
Somebody was saying that Jon perhaps will
these-
find Varys' rings that perhaps has that same poison that killed Joffrey.
Varys' ring.
Because he made such a point of like watching him take them off, and he would like turn them and then take it off and turn it and take it off.
That's true.
Maybe there's a poison
because he
gemstone.
was trying to poison Dany at the beginning of the episode.
Was he trying?
Was he? I mean, do we know that for sure?
How did he give her food?
It's a
or
good
something?
speculation that that's the reason that he was really concerned that Dany wasn't eating.
Oh,
And that was
Yeah,
the
well, he
great
was really
wish
worried about
for
her,
great
her
rewards.
eating.
sneaky little fucker.
Yeah. He could have been. I actually kind of.
That's
I hope he was, because it's really interesting. But I don't think we're ever going to find out because motherfucker got toasted. It's just another one of those things that would be awesome if we had more time for more explanation, and that's where I feel like season 6 is suffering. I don't mind the plots. It's still different than the way I would have done it. Season 6, because there's 6 episodes. Season 8, I don't mind the overall plot personally. I know some people do. I would have done it differently if I was writing it, but I didn't, and I'm okay with most of what they're doing. But it really does feel so rushed. We could have found out so much more about what Varys' machinations are, and now we don't know.
I agree. I'm really disappointed that they didn't make it like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And what was their purpose for that? Did they have to wrap it up by a certain time because they were starting on the Star Wars?
Could have just been. It could have just been budget. Like
No way.
HBO's
No way.
The actors were ready to move on. Everyone's ready to move on. It's been 10 years for them. Take something 10 years out of your life.
It did take 10 years out of our lives.
Fucking finish it right. Yeah. We put time in too. This show's made me even more gray.
Yeah.
Fucking stressful shit.
I've been trying to rack my brain how it would end, but like, if anyone thinks they know how it ends, I'm not really sure how you can.
We're automatically wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't wait.
I'm going to pretend like I know how it ends anyway. I got to say Arya kills Dany because Arya's got to do something. Bran, I think they've given up on him. I don't, as cool and mystical as he is, I think he's going to prove to be useless. Jon will fight Grey Worm. Maybe that'll be a distraction for Arya to get to Dany. And what the fuck? I'm going to side with you, babe. I'm going to say Sansa takes the throne.
Yay.
Yeah.
Team Sansa. I hated her so much.
I don't want anyone to have the throne now.
Well, democracy.
Here's what I want to say about the
option.
Starks and their honor. Their Starks and their honor have lost so many wars now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Robb, his honor forced him, to kill the Karstarks. He could have just waited, kept them prisoner, like his mom said.
Yeah, but he would have won the war. Well, he wouldn't have died the way he did if he actually had been more honorable and not fucked around with what's her name.
Well, if he didn't, I mean, you can screw around, just don't marry the girl.
Well, sure. Yeah, I mean,
your honor forced you to marry her.
Walder Frey is not going to tell you that you shouldn't be sticking your dick in places.
And Kevin, haven't you ever been in love where you just,
even though she's not good for you,
right?
His honor forced him to marry the girl, which caused. I mean, it's the killing. If Jon could have waited till after Dany took the throne to tell her, that would have been better. Why did his honor force him to say it right then and there?
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? So Jon continues to fail by being a dumbass at all the right times, so he may fail in the final episode too. And just be like, I've knelt for Dany, I have to stay with Dany. Can I do a Jon Snow voice? I knelt for Dany, and I have to stay with Dany. Is that a good Jon Snow?
It's all right.
It's all right.
Maybe he'll snap out of it and decide that he can't.
I think I mean, you saw the look on his face.
He'll be like Jaime when Jaime decided to forego his oaths because of what was happening with the Mad King.
If Dany dies,
I'm excited though. I can tell you, I'm excited.
Well, Jon's still a Targaryen. There's one Baratheon left, as far as we know. There's one, maybe, or two Targaryens left. The Starks are okay, but the Lannisters, I think Tyrion's going to die. The Lannisters, there's still one guy left, but they could be wiped out. The Tyrells are wiped out.
The tallest Lannister.
The tallest Lannister, yeah, I saw that one on Reddit. It was like, picture of the tallest Lannister, and it was like marked as a spoiler, so you couldn't see what it was until you clicked on it, and then it's Tyrion. Let's see. The Tyrells, the Tullys.
Is Kevin still alive in the show? Because in the books, he's dead.
Kevin Lannister was in the church, the Great Sept of Baelor.
I don't remember being in church. I remember him leaving.
Isn't Kevin the one that had to marry the...
No, you're thinking of
Edmure
Tully. He's still alive, probably.
He
so there's one
right?
Tully in the world.
He got the best looking bride, got a baby, got the land.
Just had to be locked up a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he got...
Well, Jon has the strongest claim. Jon has the strongest claim.
Well, for the throne, I'm just picturing there was the whole show's been about these great houses fighting each other, and quite a few of them have been more or less wiped out. Yeah.
She broke the wheel. The Martells, the Tyrells, everyone.
Yeah. The houses are either wiped out or close to it. Almost all of them. The Starks seem to be the only reasonably strong house left because there's like 4 of them. Mm-hmm. Except one of them's not really a person.
The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives.
That's right. So I guess that means they survive.
That means Jon's going to die.
Oh. Well, if he goes lone wolf. What do you think's
going to happen, Jennifer? What do you think?
Any predictions? Obviously, Sansa on the throne, I know. But
well, I'm just imagining Dany flying back to Dragonstone and being like, whew, that's over. I don't... What's the next step? What is her next step? I don't know. People are going to come to her and say, what the fuck? And she's going to say, you don't like it?
I'll Dracarys you.
I think.
Yeah, she's gonna embrace it. She's definitely gonna embrace this full fear thing. I mean, she's definitely.
I think that if she continues the way she is, Dany or Arya will kill her, and perhaps also have to kill Jon to get through her, or get to her. Sorry. And then Sansa takes the throne. Maybe just by herself, with nobody else.
By herself?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Arya will be by her side.
Right. Or who did I say was going to be the hand?
Not Arya. Brienne.
Gendry. No,
Brienne. Oh, Gendry could be. Brienne could be the hand. No, she'd be a better like Kingsguard or something, right?
I don't know. She got to move up in the world sometime.
Davos. Davos could be.
I hate Davos,
and that would be so ironic because
Davos.
he doesn't have a full hand.
I'm glad he's not talking so much anymore.
You don't like Davos?
I didn't.
Oh
remember
my God,
how
I
much
love
he
him.
talked in the beginning? I was just like, "Shut up, old dude."
But he's so good at it.
I don't know.
The part where he was creeping on Missandei was a little much, but apart from that, he's always
he was
been
creeping
awesome.
on her.
He was definitely creeping on her.
He
was walking
definitely
up to her
creepy.
like, "So, you come here often? Where are you from? What are your parents like?
Basically,
Think
yeah.
I can meet him someday?"
No, he did not.
He pretty
I
much
cannot
was.
believe Grey Worm's still alive. I don't know. Anyway, so hey, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Deathpool.
Okay, sure. Let me.
Unless you guys have more predictions, other than it's going to be crazy.
No,
And I
I'm
feel
pretty
like
much
everyone's
done because
gonna
it's
lose their
just
mind.
it's just all so confusing. I just don't think I have anything to add right now because I'm just spinning in circles here. I just hope that Arya does something cool. That's my holdout hope right now. Is Arya does something cool. The death pool. So I did finally start tallying scores. As of episode 5, the leader in the death pool, successfully predicting 13 out of 14 deaths, is Jennifer.
Another bingo.
In second place is the audience at 12 out of 14.
Huh.
Thank you, guys. And then Lore Master Kevin at 11 out of 14. And then me at
Who did I miss?
10. Yeah, well, okay. So this is hard for me to scroll through on my phone, but you missed Jaime Lannister. You said he would live.
Oh my goodness!
And the Night King. You said the Night King would live. So I mean,
What the
fuck?
That was a joke. Yeah, I just want to be contrarian on that one. I really thought Jaime would either live or die killing Cersei, and I was like, well, so I think that's gonna happen. We'll make Jaime live. So I missed him. Who else? You said I was like 11 to 14.
And then the other one you missed was Lord Varys. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking. You or me both. Jennifer said he was going to die. I don't know why I said he was going to live. Melisandre told us he was going to die, and she seemed like she knew what she was talking about. But
I said Varys was going to live.
Yep, and so did I.
I'm crazy. I would never have said that.
I'm crazy too.
I don't know what's going on
I went through but when I was putting this up on the webpage, I went through our predictions like at least 2 times. I was listening back to the recording to make sure I got them right.
Said that. I don't know why I would say that.
I don't know why either, but I also said it, so I am also a dummy. And what can I say? The other one I got wrong, of course, was Theon, because I had assumed he would fail into survival. So let's see who's left. We have had a lot of deaths, but let's just run through it real quick. Sam Tarley.
I thought Brienne was going to die.
Right. I thought Brienne was doomed. Grey Worm. We all said Grey Worm was going to die, as well as 89% of the people voting on potofthrones.com. Let's see.
Still have to die.
Kevin, you said Sansa was going to die.
Did I really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You sure did. Jennifer.
She still has a chance. She still has a chance to die.
That's true. There's one episode left. Jennifer and Kevin said Drogon would die. I said Drogon would live. It would be kind of cool if Dany had to die, if Drogon just decided to pal around with Jon. Yeah.
That would be cool.
I did say that Dany and Jon would both die, but their kid would live. So I was totally off on that.
Yeah, well, she could be pregnant. We still don't know. Takes a while for women to know that they're pregnant, as we know through the news. Oh, actually, apparently I said Brienne would live, and you two said she would die. Oh, I'm forgetting
She
all these
died in her
predictions.
heart. Her heart is dead.
She did. Jaime did kill her heart.
That's
That
true.
much,
She's
yeah.
probably going to be a cold soul now.
Poor
She'll be the
Bran.
new Night King.
I can't wait to see what she's like now after that.
when she finds out.
Is she going to still be all stoic, or is she breaking down crying all the time now?
I think she'll be more stoic. That's my best guess.
She'll want to kill all men.
Okay. Last question, and then we're going to go. Is there a purpose to the entire Bran subplot?
Seems so.
Because we're out of time, man. We
Maybe
only have
Bran
an
will
hour and a
kill
half
her.
to tie up all loose ends. Maybe Bran will what?
Kill Dany.
To save Tyrion?
They save everybody.
But he doesn't care about everybody. He cares about himself. Maybe he cares about Tyrion. I mean, they were buddies for a while, but ultimately he picks money.
Doesn't Tyrion need to sign over something to him?
Yeah, Highgarden. He wants Tyrion to live for that purpose. Mm-hmm. But if Dany's going to execute Tyrion, then he's not going to get Highgarden either way, because he's not going to just be able to go up to Dany and be like, hey, that guy said that if you win, I get Highgarden. We didn't have time to get into writing, but I did punch him in the nose.
That's the same exact position I'm in with my job right now. They're trying to get me to say something, and I'm like, but people forget, and then you're not around, and then what you said you were going to give me is gone, so where am I then? That's exactly the same thing.
You're right.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Means I don't sign.
It means I'm going to buy you a crossbow.
Oh. That's nice.
So what do you think, Kevin? How does Bran get Highgarden?
I hope it has something, but since Bran's my favorite characters.
Yeah. He's always been one of my favorites, but he was such a douchebag in the last episode.
I feel like they set up, like, it just doesn't feel like it was...
It's rushed, right?
Well, okay, so Tormund and Ghost, they're headed off to the north. I just feel like that was too loose. Like, there has to be a time when they come back again, because we didn't get to really say goodbye. He was like, bye, Ghost, and that's it.
And they took a lot of shit for that, as well they should have. Nymeria, they brought her back last season.
Right.
And then...
I don't feel like it was ever closed.
If that was supposed to close the plot of like, hey, yeah, Nymeria is still alive and she has all these wolves now, and then she growled at me and left, they should have just not had it at all.
Yes.
Because most people weren't thinking about it. They were just happy that Arya is cool.
I was thinking about it, but
there has to be
I wasn't happy with
some
that.
resolution to... There's not enough time. There's not enough time to tie all this up, and I'm mad.
Maybe they're tricking us, and there really are 2 more episodes.
That would be the most amazing, best kept secret in probably the entire history of Hollywood.
Yes.
Okay, let's go with that theory. So next week is not actually the last episode. I think Jennifer's right. There's going to be one more after that. You heard it here first on Pod of Thrones. Don't forget. Yeah, there we go. And we'll have enough time to tie everything up.
Yes.
Sounds good. At the
Loose ends episode.
Yeah. Just wait, because after the credits of episode 7, there's going to be this really cool musical number where Arya's playing the piano and Nymeria is singing I'm a Believer, the monkey song. And then there's a big dance party going on in the background.
Ugh, I hated that scene.
Okay. All right. I think now we've really derailed ourselves. So it's probably a good time to go. We've done our best. It's impossible to speculate, but what can you do? We're just going to be there for each other, and we'll hug when it's over. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all of you guys. We'll hug
everybody. Let's all give each other a big virtual hug.
That's right.
I'm going to miss you guys.
You're coming back.
We'll figure out something else to talk about.
Westeros.
Westworld?
Westworld.
Hey, I'm intrigued by a bunch of HBO shows, so we'll do
Watchmen.
Watchmen. His
right?
Dark Materials. That's the one I'm most excited for. So there might be other opportunities. We can make this an HBO-based podcast.
Oh.
For a while.
Okay.
A little while, if we need to.
Maybe they'll sponsor us eventually.
There you
Hey,
go.
I have a show recommendation for you, since you loved that one Netflix show, the Santa Clarita Diet or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not in that same vein, but I think you would like it. I think you should watch Dead to Me.
Oh, my mom's watching that right now.
Like literally right now?
Literally right now. I put it on for her because she can't figure out how to work the TV. I put it on for her. And then I said, I'll be back in an hour, so I got to go do something.
It's like putting a baby in a playpen.
Yes.
Oh my God. Except instead of Sesame Street, there's zombies. Which incidentally would make Sesame Street so awesome. Okay. All right. So just a few days left. We'll see what happens. We will talk then, everybody. We will laugh or cry or rage about it all together Sunday night or Monday morning, depending on where you are. We promise. Right?
Si, senor.
All right.
Right.
And of course, Kevin, we'll give you a
I'll
chance
text
to chime
you
in
at
too.
4 o'clock in the morning and be like,
Well, we'll
that's when this
definitely
is your episode.
we'll
That's
definitely
your
have
podcast.
we'll have aftermath episodes.
Oh my gosh. So we're going to have Monday off to recover from it, right?
Is that a holiday?
I think it's Memorial Day.
Oh,
Do
well, that's
we?
perfect.
It's either this Monday or next.
That was next week.
No, actually, you're right. I think it's in 2 weeks.
Ow.
Well,
Darn it. My stomach is really growling.
okay. I'm going to go feed my lady.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's a good way to end. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
That was her stomach.